IVM.
Hi,
You're
listening to IVM.
daily.
Hi guys, welcome to IVM Daily. Here's wishing all of you a very, very happy new year.
Yay!
And with me in the studio is Abbas,
Hi.
Ashish,
Hi.
Karthik,
Hello.
and this is me, Jaanam. And we all hope you had a great New Year's Eve and you have recovered from your hangover or whatever you've been dealing with. And we actually have some exciting news for you guys. This is our first IVM Daily episode of 2019. And before we get into what we have in store for you, which is new shows launching in the coming few weeks, months, we're just going to recap some of the shows that released in the second half of last year. We had this show called Advertising is Dead with Varun Tugirala, who's the content chief and co-founder of The Glitch. On Advertising is Dead, we have guests from the advertising space and they talk about how the space is evolving and just trends to look out for. We had the co-founder of Savan, Vinod Bhatt. We had Kunal Jeswani, who's CEO of Ogilvy India on that. We launched another show called The Habit Coach with Ashton Doctor, whose producer is with us in the studio right now.
What's up, guys?
Tell us, Karthik, what is the Habit Coach?
So the Habit Coach podcast is the host of the show is Ashton Doctor.
Right.
So he is actually the habit coach.
That's his profession.
Yeah,
right?
that's his profession.
Profile. job
Yeah, he's
profile.
into fitness. He's into basically every habit, like
The good habits.
the good habits,
Yeah.
meditation, everything, like
Yeah.
everything positive.
Yeah.
So he gives us like bite-sized small episodes, like
Right.
of 5 minutes, under 5 minutes. So in which he talks about creating small habits to make a bigger, like to make a better future or a better living or a better life.
Right.
So yeah, that's all about the show.
And how often can you hear it?
Yeah, it comes out 3 days a week. So it's Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So
Nice.
to check the
Yeah.
show.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Guys, the Habit Coach is actually a great podcast since it's the start of the year. If you wanna, like, if you wanna
Yeah.
set some realistic resolutions and follow it, and just an easier way to do that is listen to the Habit
We
Coach.
have a 3-part series on New Year resolutions.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
So yeah.
Check it out. And we also had another podcast called The Echoes of India by
Anirudh Kanisetti.
yes,
Yeah,
Firaz-
also produced by Karthik.
So yeah, it's a history podcast. So he basically talks about the politics, economics, what happened in South India, the Buddhist. There was Buddhism in South India, and
Right.
all about that. So it's pretty interesting that we got to know a lot. Like I personally got to know a lot about South India in general.
Okay.
So yeah,
So is it focusing on South India right now, and later on it'll take on the
for the
other?
first season, yeah, we are talking about
Okay.
South India specifically.
Okay.
So yeah, the episode comes out every Wednesday.
Okay.
Earlier it used to be Monday. So yeah, from this week it's Wednesday. So yeah.
Guys, we're also delving into some regional content.
stuff, yeah.
We have Kannada podcast called Thale Harate, whose producer is with us in the studio, Ashish.
Yeah, the Thale Harate is a Kannada podcast hosted by Pawan Srinath, who also hosts the Pragati podcast. And this show is all about bridging the gap between the world and the people and the Karnataka people.
Oh.
So it's not just restricted to like politics and everything that happens in India. It's related to the world. So
Okay.
like one episode was on cybersecurity. So that way, all the problems we faced in hacking and cracking, So it's a lot about. So but everything is in Kannada.
Okay.
So I don't understand most of it. So I have to heavily rely on Pawan for this. And that's about it. And so you have a friend who speaks Kannada to recommend this podcast to them.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And from Abbas's end, we had Paperback.
Yeah, so Paperback, as the name suggests, is a podcast about books. It's hosted by these two fine people called Racheta and Satyajit. They have a circulating library of their own called the Open Library Project. So they're very well aware of what's the books that are out there which have made an impact. So essentially the structure of the show is that they get a guest every episode. So 5 episodes have been out till now. The 5th episode dropped today. It features Shweta Raina. So the guests they get are usually from the corporate world. Okay, they are CEOs, they are also authors themselves sometimes, and they essentially recommend 5 non-fiction books that have had an impact on their life.
Okay.
Non-fiction because the Open Library Project deals with non-fiction books. In the case where they get an author as a guest, then the author speaks about one of his or her books. So in the first half, they talk about one book in detail, and in the second half, they quickly run through the 4 other books that have been recommended. So in case they have an author as a guest, the author talks about his or her one book in detail in the first half. Usually the one that has just come out or had come out in the last few months. So it's very entertaining. It's very informative mostly. We've had some great guests. We had Ambi Parmeswaran, the ad man and writer now, who spoke about his book Sponge. We had Raj Raman, who spoke about his book The Smelting Cauldron, and probably one of the most interesting episodes was we had Dr. Swati Lodha and her daughter Swara Lodha, who've written a book together called 54 Reasons Why Parents Suck. So yeah, the daughter actually helped her mother write a book about parenthood. So that's a pretty interesting episode.
Okay.
That was episode 3, so check it out. Each episode is around 40 to 45 minutes in length. And Satyajit and Racheta were on Cyrus's podcast recently, so check that episode out as well. They ask Cyrus a lot about his favorite books, and he talks a lot about how he likes to read about history and stuff. So that's a fun episode also.
Great, thanks for that audiobook, Abbas. Okay, those were the shows that are already out, but we are here to talk about the upcoming shows that will be releasing in the coming weeks. We have Filter Coffee,
Yes.
whose producer is again our Karthik.
Karthik is the producer of a show.
And Karthik is also the host.
Yeah, Karthik Nagarajan is the host. Karthik Nagarajan is the CCO, that is the Chief Content Officer of Wavemaker, and he's the host of the show. And he also came in for an episode with Varun Dugirala.
Yes, that is out this week. It's the latest episode. You can check it out.
Yeah.
They have done a roundup of what's happened in the advertising space in 2018, and they also talk about the predictions for 2019. Yes.
So, yeah, even he's an advertising guy. And it's basically an informal conversation with all his guests. So, which normally friends do have over a coffee, or in this case, a filter coffee. So, yeah, that's all about it. And they talk about craft, society, movies, cricket, sports, everything basically, yeah.
So, when is this out, Karthik?
So, it comes out on the 16th of Jan, which is a Wednesday. And thereafter, every Wednesday. Yeah.
Cool. Nice. And so that was Filter Coffee. But before that, we have another show launching on the 10th.
On the 10th, yeah.
We have the show called Cinemaya. Ashish, can you tell us about it?
Yeah, Cinemaya is a journey of 8 female directors and everything that happened from inception to conception of their films. So it's the journey of how they fought to get their films produced, how they fought in a masculine society to get their films made, to make people believe in their artistic vision, and what the problems they faced while doing so. So these are 8 filmmakers, from Nandita Das to Aruna Raje to and a lot of big names, Tanuja Chandra. And so I think it would not just interest the people who are aspiring filmmakers, but also everybody who knows a little bit about the film industry. I think they should be interested in listening to this, because it brings out a different angle, a different perspective on this, the Bollywood as a whole.
Okay.
So I think, and it releases on 10th of Jan. So stay tuned.
Amazing. What about you, Abbas? You have How to Citizen. Can you shed some light on that?
I have a show called How to Citizen, which will be premiering sometime the end of this month. So Meghnad S from News Laundry and the Constitution fame. He has this very famous YouTube series called Constitution, where he gives you a tuition about what the Constitution of India says.
Okay.
So this show, How to Citizen, is him and another host, Shreyas Manohar, who's a stand-up comedian. They are going to do 10 episodes with guests on each episode, and they'll essentially discuss one chapter from the civics textbook with the guest. 48 hours before the episode is recorded, they email the chapter to the guest. They read the chapter, and then basically they take the viva on the podcast. Yeah.
Nice.
So they take a viva, but it also kind of expands into a wider discussion of what our civics textbook still tells us, right? There are things which are in the textbooks which are never implemented. There are things which are outdated which are still in the textbook, right? And how with each new government, not the constitution, but the way the things that from the constitution are implemented also change, right? So it's a very interesting episode. We have a bunch of very funny people and serious people on the podcast, and funny people talking about serious things on the podcast. I wouldn't like to reveal the guest list because it's a very interesting guest list, and you'll see them as they come out. But do look out for it. It's a very interesting show. Also very knowledgeable and also funny. So all of it is done in a very light-hearted but also serious matter.
So doesn't really make learning a chore.
Exactly. Yes.
It's
and
fun.
we have a history podcast, civics podcast, and we need a geography podcast.
Oh yeah, sure. Let's do that.
We'll have a social studies package that we can offer.
Okay, then we have Ganatantra also.
Yeah.
About constitution.
But I think this one is in Hindi.
Yeah, no. So this one is in English primarily. So it's still in between if it's Hindi or English. But Ganatantra is basically a show where they it's not only on the politics aspect, but they also will spot trends and what is happening in the political sector, in economics as well. And they give like a nuanced perspective on the entire Republic of India, as in the Constitution of India. And they will have fun while doing so. So it's going to release soon. So I think you should watch the space. So
and who's doing the show?
This is hosted by Sarayu Natarajan and Alok Prasanna Kumar. They are the forefront in the research for this matter. Yeah.
Amazing. Can't wait for that. We also have another show called the Sponge Podcast that is being produced by Surbhi Baga, who is currently not in the studio, but I'll just brief you guys on that. It's hosted by Ambi Parmeshwaran, who is a veteran ad man and author. And in this podcast, he talks about the lessons he has learned from his clients, like over the years of his experience, and narrates some really cool stories about real people and all the valuable life lessons he learned from the clients and people who he's really like worked closely with. So check that out. I think that will be out probably early next month.
So Ambi was also, like I said, on Paperback. So check that episode out. Also on first episode of Paperback, we had Apurva as a guest who spoke about another book he wrote as one of her main books. So so check that out as well.
Amazing. And now coming to the last podcast of the list, we have a new show on dating called Dating is Garbage, guys.
We got real experts to host this show.
Yes. It's hosted by Abbas, Surbhi and me, and we have
the experts on dating, guys.
Yes. There's no refuting that. And we have amazing guests on the show, some really interesting, cool people who have been around the dating apps and dating space in general, and we talk about our experiences. And
so for long time listeners of IVM Daily, we used to do this edition called No Sex in the City on Daily, and we used to enjoy doing it a lot. So we thought, why not just spin it off into a show of its own, which is essentially what Dating is Garbage is.
Yes, so look forward to that, and I think that should be out like end of this month. We'll announce the dates for most of these soon. Just stay tuned to our Facebook, Instagram and Twitter.
In case you feel we don't reveal enough of our private lives, or you will listen to it on Dating is Garbage.
We kind of regret every time we walk out of the studio after that recording, we're like, oh god, we revealed too much. But it's a fun show. Check it out, and we will look forward to having you guys write into us at IVM Podcasts on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
Yeah, and do download the IVM app. You'll find all these amazing shows on the app very soon. And you can reach out to us personally on social media as well. I am at Abbas Momin on Twitter. Karthik.
I'm at Grow Up Mohan on Instagram.
Janam.
I'm at Jaanam Diwan on Twitter.
Ashish.
And Ashish says he's not on social media, but I really doubt that.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was our show for today. So do keep an ear out for these shows, and do keep listening to the shows that you already do on the network. And we shall see you on tomorrow's episode of IVM Daily. Till then, bye-bye.
Bye.
Did you know that Parsis in Mumbai, instead of being left at the Tower of Silence after they die, are now cremated? And why? Because a cow fell sick in the early 1990s. Did you know that the smog in Delhi is caused by something that farmers in Punjab do, and that there's no way to stop them? Did you know that there wasn't one gas tragedy in Bhopal, but 3? One of them was seen, but 2 were unseen. Did you know that many well-intentioned government policies hurt the people they're supposed to help? Why was demonetization a bad idea? How should GST have been implemented? Why are all our politicians so corrupt when not all of them are bad people? I'm Amit Verma, and in my weekly podcast, The Seen and the Unseen, I take a shot at answering all these questions and many more. I aim to go beyond the seen and show you the unseen effects of public policy and private action. I speak to experts on economics, political philosophy, cognitive neuroscience, and constitutional law so that the insights can blow not only my mind, but also yours. The Seen and the Unseen releases every Monday. So do check out the archives and follow the show at seenunseen.in. You can also subscribe to The Seen and the Unseen on whatever podcast app you happen to prefer.
Hi, my name is Anupam Gupta. I'm B50 on Twitter. I am the host of Paisa Vaisa, the show that talks money. On my show, I speak to experts from every field of money and finance, from stock markets, equities, debt funds, credit cards, life insurance, every possible area of money and finance that you can think of. We even did an episode on cryptocurrency. I've got fantastic guests from mutual funds to personal finance experts everywhere. Robo-advisory, startups, just name it, we've got it. At Paisa Vaisa, we help you make smart decisions about money. You work hard for money. Now make your money work hard for you. New episodes out every Monday, and you can listen to my show on the IVM Podcast app or any other podcasting app that you have.